right, so one really important thing is that we're going through the entries now. The most important thing is that you make sure one of the legs is trapped, okay? So essentially into like a butterfly hook. So it doesn't matter if Lockie's on his back or whether he's seated up. I have to make sure that at least one leg is trapped like this if I want to get the body lock pass. So let's have a look at a few different positions where that can be the case. It could be butterfly guard here where I can come in and the leg's trapped and I get my body lock pass. Like it could be on his back. I could come into like a headquarters and see I've trapped the leg here and that can work into a body lock pass from there. It could be that I'm going for a knee cut and you see this leg's in between my legs here. So that leg's trapped. I'm going to be looking to work into the body lock pass from there. But you have to have a leg trap, okay? Don't bother trying to set up your body lock pass if the feet are on the outside of the hips, okay? If they're here, or even if they're on the hips, it's going to be very risky trying to set it up from here. A really important thing to set up the body lock pass is we need to try to get our opponent to sit up and also to square up a bit, okay? So obviously from here, when I say to sit up, like I need to get his back off the ground, okay? So if Lockie's here and his knees are tight to his chest like this, then it's gonna be so hard to get into a body lock. Even if I trap one leg, it's very hard for me to get in and get to the body lock. This whole leg's in the way, okay? So I need to open this gap between the knee and the chest. I'm gonna start to pull away here and try and get my armpit to cover that gap, okay? Now, from here, if Lockie stays back, he's gonna feel like this is a bad way to play guard, okay? He's not protected, doesn't have that space protected. I can start setting up a whole bunch of different passes from there. So the natural inclination once we get something like this is to sit up, and that gives us a chance to lock our body lock pass, or a body lock to set up the pass. So we need to force them to sit up. The best way to do that is to start bringing the knees away from the chest, okay? You see a similar sort of thing when we're going for our knee cut. If I can get my chest over the top of the leg, I will start to walk Lockie's knees away from his chest here. And I'm squaring him up. Look what he's done. He's sat up, and that gives me a chance to attack the body lock. It's really important that you square them up though too, because if you look at this, like if I just went backwards like this, and I haven't squared his hips up, he's on his side, he doesn't really feel the need to sit up. In fact, he can attack quite well being on his side here. There's like triangles, omoplata, a whole bunch of attacks that a lot of people use from positions like a Z guard. Okay? So it's really important that we are, during our setups, we're constantly kind of circling backwards and taking the knees away from the chest and squaring up. Okay, see that action? Okay. I'm moving back and opening that gap up to make him sit up. Okay. Just here, it's not going to be enough. Sometimes the person will have their back flat on the mat and you can still get the body lock. It's a little more difficult though. This is not by making them sit up, but by exposing their back when you tilt them left and right and just taking advantage of the space each time. Okay, so essentially what I can do, I'll put this is usually when I've cleared the line of the knee and I'm trying to get my body lock after I've cleared the line of the knee, which sometimes you do that first and then the body lock second. But sometimes I can put my hand as far through as I can and then I try to rock Lockie forward, okay? Then from here, my right hand can often connect. So look on the other side actually. You might be here, my hand's waiting, and I reach that through, okay? Sometimes stay flat on your back. You know, they might be trying to stay flat because they know that you like the body lock pass. They sort of stay flat as you're doing this, and you have to kind of like rock a few times. Okay, now I've got my hands connected, okay? So each time there's just like a little gap that I can take either hand through until we connect our hands, and then we're ready to set up our pass. All right, so how do we break a grip on our wrist? So obviously if Lockie knows I like the body lock, he's gonna start blocking my wrist. Or if he just wants to set up a bunch of different options. It can be a great way to let him open space to get his leg back too. Okay, so I could be holding the leg, he pushes that off, and then he can get his leg back, or set up a bunch of different type of attacks from there as well, including the Kimura. So obviously head position is pretty important, because if Lockie's holding my wrist and my head's out of position, when I try to move it, he can follow really well. Okay, if I got my head in position and I pull my hand back, it's much harder for him to follow that. Okay, especially for Kimura grip and so on as well. We want to prevent that, so our head's really important. Now, what I'll tend to do to break a grip, if he's got a grip on my wrist, I want to make sure you've got some sort of connection on this bottom leg, because you're going to have to take your hand off the leg. Okay, you have to take the hand off the leg, and I'll usually put it behind my leg and just punch like here. Okay, try and hold that. Okay, and it'll sometimes even go behind my back. Okay, so I'll sit up and fight like here. Sometimes it'll even be back here. Okay, if I put it behind my back for a moment, you can't follow it, and then I have to find the angle that I can come back with and get control myself. Okay, it could be to get an underhook, or it could be to get back to the leg to block the leg. Okay, just remember, like, the hierarchy of importance. Breaking a wrist grip is not as important as keeping their leg trapped. Okay, so if I feel like I have no control of this bottom leg and he grabbed my wrist, I'm not going to let go to break this wrist grip, because he just gets his leg back. Okay, what I have to do is make sure I control the leg somehow. Could be with the knee pinch, could be, I could clear the knee line with my left leg, I could have this right leg curling back, something like that. So now I feel like he can't immediately take that. I'm now gonna break that grip. Okay, sometimes I'll step forward. Okay, remember, the more forward this leg is, the harder it is for Lockie to recover his bottom leg, to recover that leg now. See, you had to do a pretty big movement there. Okay, whereas when it's back here, it's a pretty small movement. Okay, so sometimes he's holding my wrist and I'll go, boom. Okay, try and get your leg back. Now I can block. Okay, and he doesn't have my wrist. Okay, so again, he's got my wrist. We could go here, break, come back, and start to control from there. I'm going to just go briefly through what the different entries we're going to be covering are. We'll go into more detail in those particular sections. So there's an uninitiated entry, like how do we try to set up the body lock pass if we've got a seated opponent, how do I start trying to work in to get the body lock pass from here. We also go against when the person's lying on their back with their legs up, how do we try to initiate getting the body lock pass from here. So we go back just for the seated position. So you usually here working in, trying to get the body lock. And then if they're on their back, a bunch of different options from here. Trying to get the body lock set up from there, which we will go through. We're gonna go through how to get the body lock against a Z, or try to get the body lock from a Z guard, from a knee shield, like this, from headquarters, from butterfly, and one that's less common, but actually I think it's a less common move, but it leads really well into the body lock pass, which is actually a closed guard open called the Sao Paulo open. Yeah, so we'll go a bit through how to open the guard, which can lead us straight to our body lock too. All right, so we've got a seated opponent. We want to get the body lock pass. Usually from here, I'm going to essentially try to almost force like a butterfly, but looking for the grip to my body lock you know, as I'm sitting in for that. Okay, so I sometimes think of it almost like you're shooting a double leg takedown from here. Okay, so similar to wrestling, you're trying to set up. There's the hand fight. His hands are in the way. I'm trying to deal with the hands until I can shoot in to catch the position I want. Okay. So it is quite similar like that, and the hand fight is really important. Generally, to open that gap, Lockie's trying to get control of my wrists. Obviously, if he holds my hands, I can't get a body lock. So I'm going to be going like outside control and then pushing in. This is the best way to open. When my grip's like this, if Lockie wants to, like, it's very hard to cover the inside position. Maybe we turn it in, face the camera. If I can push like this, see how my grip covers this side? So to break that grip, Lockie has to move his hand away. Yeah, which gives me a gap still to work with. If I grab like this, where does he break? Inside. It's hard to get in that space. Okay, it's a similar thing that works well in wrestling as well. But if I can get my grip like that, and then Lockie starts trying to break, that can give me a chance to dive in to set up my body lock. Okay, so both hands will be working here, trying to get control on the inside, getting my hands on the inside, so he has to pull his hands away and give me a chance to get into this gap. Okay. Now, head positioning is definitely very important. Generally, like if I can, I want my head to like push into the chest here. I definitely want a head lower than Lockie's, but definitely shoulder as well is actually more important. Because sometimes people head fight really well. Like if Lockie's head fighting really well, but I can get my shoulder lower. See that? My shoulder's lower than, the line of my shoulder's lower than his. I can still body lock well. Okay, remember that was really important principle. We don't let our shoulder slide past the line of their shoulders. So even if you're losing the head battle, if your shoulder battle is winning, that's fine. But ideally, you win the head battle to begin. Okay, so feet back. I tend to keep them both pretty parallel, like out wide. I don't want to give him a chance to grab my leg. This is going to be much harder to get the body lock now. So keep my legs away, gripping the hands, coming in, and then I'm going to start to dive for the body lock. My head's gone to the same side that I want to attach, and now really important, if you shoot it like a double leg, don't extend both legs, both hands just to get the grip. What's going to happen now, I'm going to end up in close guard. Okay? So what I want to do is my right hand will go deep and my left hand will go shallow, blocking the thigh here. Okay, so then look at my left hand. Okay? It's stopped there. I haven't reached any further than my hand going to the hip. My right hand's going to come through to that. If you can't reach, that's okay. Like spend a bit of time like adjusting from there, but definitely don't lose the connection on that leg that is blocking him from getting his leg to the outside. Okay? Now I can connect my hands and I can start to work for the body lock pass from there. Fast. Sometimes you're going to lose this head fight battle, you know, like if Lockie is very aware that I need my head lower than his, he might really fight to get his head underneath my chin. And we still want to try to pull ourselves into a position where we can get the body lock. It's not going to be quite as clean as the previous one, but we can still get there, okay? So we're grip fighting here and Lockie managed to get his head under mine, okay? So here, he's got like access to my legs. Obviously there's other attack, you know, you can attack the neck and so on as well, but if you really, sometimes, you know, they're aware of that and you really want to get to your body lock, you know that you're really comfortable with passing from there. So I'm going to anchor myself to, like, give me something to pull my level lower. His level's lower than mine. Let's just turn a little bit. What I'm going to work for here is gripping underneath the calf, and I start pulling my hips down. I'm basically going to sit on this leg like it's a butterfly hook, okay? So Lockie's your hand fighting and pushing, and I'm going to start to pull like up. try and elevate here. You can see like I'm pulling my hips down towards the ground by pulling up on the knee, okay? From here, I can often, once I've got my hips low, I can slide my shoulder past, which gives me the underhook here. And you see my other hand has already blocked the knee on this side. So if Lockie was trying to take his leg out to get back to close guard, pummel in and start to step over. Yeah. Here, I lose the hand fight, grip underneath the knee, start to pull yourself down like on the spot, okay? Not forwards, but down, okay? This lets me bring my shoulder, as if I can get my shoulder past the line of that knee, that gives me the underhook. This is a nice little way to pummel. If he's, like here you can see, Lockie's got a good chance at winning that outside leg battle. So he tries to go for the, yes, for that. I wanted to kill that leg. So as he does that, my knee goes inside, over, and I slip over the top, back to where I want it to be. Again, once I've got this underhook, Lockie goes outside with his leg, my knee goes inside, and over. Okay, once I'm here, I start to block that leg from recovering with my elbow, and I start to square him up. Okay, what's that make him want to do? Sit up, gives me the body lock, and I'm ready to continue my pass. So I lose the head positioning battle, I can reach underneath the shin. So try and pull me forward, I pull my hips down until my shoulder beats the line of the knee. That gives me the underhook. Okay. From here, we're working to get our body lock. Okay.
Here you'll get me against Jeremy, just using that grip on the bottom of the calf, sorry, the calf near the knee there, just using it to pull my hips down. It stops Jeremy from elevating me forward and keeps my hips heavy towards the ground. So what I'm trying to do is use that to get my shoulder and my head back lower than Jeremy. So you can see it works there, and I managed to get my head underneath. Jeremy's framed and hip escaped there. But again, his head's lower, and I'm using a grip. It would be my right, and then my left will come in again, and that starts to get me lower again. Okay, Jeremy's doing a very good job of pulling forward. I do end up with the body lock from here, but it is so it does work, but it is a difficult one.
All right, so we're in the butterfly guard. We want to get the body lock pass and get to our next stage of the pass, which is where we've cleared the line. Well, we're going to get to the stage where we've connected our hands for the body lock pass, and then we can go through how to clear the line of the knee in the next phase. Okay, so I'm in the butterfly guard here. I just want to talk a little bit about like the grip fighting that's going on. I want to have my hips heavy and as low as possible, like and as far, like really back. Okay, I don't want to get elevated at all in the butterfly guard. Okay, so if you start coming here like this, it's going to cause problems. Okay, so I need my hips low. If I am not winning the hand fight, I need to keep my weight back. So let's say Lockie starts getting underhooks and starts moving my weight forward. I drop low and I'll be posting on the ground. Look at how like I drop my hips, and if I get the right angle, that post stops the forward momentum. So pull me forward now. Okay. Same with my right hand, can do the same thing. Okay. If he's got forward momentum and you start locking up the body lock pass, it's no good. He's gonna take you over. Okay. So you need to have totally stopped any forward momentum first. So even whether he wins the underhook or I'm winning the underhook battle, like at least I've got one underhook, for example, here, I still need my hands ready to post. Okay. Now just be careful with this. Sometimes you post and they start attacking arm lock, like a prone arm lock. Okay, so you can pummel underneath, maybe do it on this side just to start attacking it. Okay. So we go back. You got to be ready. I want my shoulder low, and I would actually post a little wider, so you got more room. If he goes for that attack, you can pummel back inside. Okay, if you get back, if I post too close to him, he can lock that, and I get no chance to pummel back. Okay, so when I pummel, it's a little wide. It's not too narrow. And I keep my shoulder low. Watch how when I do that, my shoulder drops, which is exactly what I want. Lower shoulder positioning, harder to elevate me, and easier to get the body lock. Okay? So grip fighting here, Lockie starts to get good positioning, starts to bring me forward, post, drop, like move my hips backwards, and I'm gonna start to look for the body lock here, or pummel an underhook, and then look for the body lock, okay? You can see my shoulder is dropping to the knee. I'm moving it out towards the knee, not to the hip, so that when I body lock, you can't recover that leg. Okay, so again, watch this. I've dropped my weight back and my shoulder's right near the knee. Okay, I think a lot of problem people are going here. I'm gonna go here. Okay, bring that knee out now. I keep my weight back and I can link my hands as far through with my right as I can. Left hand linking, and then I lock my elbow tight. Head's in decent position here. I'm ready to pass. Okay, ready to start to clear the knee line.
Here we get to briefly see this posting in action. Jeremy's going to knock me forward. You see I'm too high right now. My head, I've started to get my head lower, which is good, using that grip on the calf. Jeremy frames against that. He will bring me, I'm a bit too high here. He's going to be able to like bring my weight forward, or even when you're too low. Yeah, here. And I use my hands to post. And I'm too far forward here. I use my hand to post, and that's got my hips back. Hand post on his body there, and that's let me get back low enough to a position here where I could potentially set up the body lock. Especially if he sits up from here. There we go. So I've connected my hands.
We talked about this a little earlier, but sometimes from the butterfly you will get good positioning, but they'll control your wrist. Okay, this can be good for them going for the sweep. If he gets the wrist control, he can go for the sweep, as well as for blocking me from getting the body lock position. Okay, so when that's the case, I will try to step up and break that grip. Okay, so it's hard to, while I'm on my knees, it's hard to break this wrist grip. So keep hold of that grip. And my head's in position, stopping his arm from following. Take the hand behind the back. Okay, now it's a battle. Don't just come back here. You re-grip it. I have to like fight for inside space. See, I'm inside the arm here. When he tries to grip now, I can win that. Okay, so like trace inside. Okay, my wrist goes on the inside. Try and grab my wrist. Okay, so we're circling. And if he starts to win that, take it back. Come through. If he's too wide, come in on the inside. If he's too much on the inside, go wide, pummel inside, and then you can win that grip battle.
All right, here you can see me rolling with Jeremy. I've grabbed the ankle and stepped over, and now Jeremy's controlling the wrist. Notice I made sure I stepped over the leg first before I worried about trying to deal with the wrist grip. I think that's really important. Because there's no point fighting the wrist if they can get their full like closed guard or open guard back, okay? And you'll see me putting my hand almost back behind my back and constantly pummeling. Every time Jeremy starts to get a grip, I go back to that fight again and try to reset. And now I've managed to connect my hands together to finish the pass.
When Tim, let's say Tim has 2 underhooks in the butterfly guard and I want to get to the body lock, I talked about holding onto the shin, but here it might be too, like I can't pull myself down low enough. But I want to stop the forward momentum. So what's going to be a problem is if Tim brings me forward, he starts to he can elevate me a lot. Okay, so we go back with these double underhooks here. Sometimes even just bringing your arm in front of just in front of the shin at the top near the knee, and I start to like push back against that. It can be the same with both arms or even just one. But if Tim starts to bring me forward now, like that can work to lower my shoulder. See, from that, as he starts to pull back, I get a chance to drop my shoulder. Okay. Now I might be able to move my head, get in at the body. My shoulders are now drop lower than his. So again, I started too high. Tim starts to work, and I'm working backwards, nice and low here. Hand on the mat, hand in front of the shin. And pummel and get in front. Get low enough to actually get my body lock where I want it.
This is not the exact same scenario, but it's an example of where I use my arm on the shin to get my weight back. So you see, Jeremy's going to be trying to pull me forward, and I use my shoulder to pull my hips back, and he can't pull me forward as I do that. It was subtle, but now I have better positioning on the legs to get towards the hips, as you'll see here.
So this time I want to set up the body lock pass, but I have someone who's lying on their back with their legs up, which is probably to be honest, it's a harder one because he's got his knees close to his chest and his back's on the ground. So it's hard to connect your hands from here, but we have some ways of working to do that. Basically I want to set up Well, I basically want to get to one of two positions, either the headquarters position or the knee through position, like a Z guard sort of position. Okay, so that's usually when the person's playing here, they're looking to get like an outside hook, like De La Riva, or they're going to be looking to get an inside hook, like reverse De La Riva. If they're playing off their back, that's usually what they're looking for, apart from just like open guard, triangles, that sort of stuff. Okay, so first, remember we always want to like get one butterfly hook, and that's usually not too hard to get if I start to control the ankles. Okay? If I control the ankles, I can start to step wide, and you can already see if I just dropped my hips in here, I'd have one leg trapped. Okay, I'm a bit far away from getting a body lock, so we'll work on how to deal with that. But this is just for getting to headquarters. So I'm going to hold the ankles or the shins. I'm going to step a little wide, and I take my right leg nice and wide, a nice wide step here. Why do I go wide? So you can't get the De La Riva hook. Okay, if you step straight at them, they'll get the De La Riva hook. They can push you away, and then they have both feet in front of you again. You're very far from the body lock. Okay, so we hold the shins, step out to the side first, and then nice wide step. Wide step here, and then I can drop my knee in like this. My right leg is going to pin Lockie's leg. My left knee, my knees stay tight and my feet stay wide. My hips are low. I don't want to be able to him to be able to elevate me forward, so try and keep me forward. Okay, good. If you're here, you can go over. My knee is pretty much just on the thigh. Don't go too far forward here. Here, it's very hard to, like again, I'm too far forward. He can elevate and move me around with his legs. Okay, so actually want to be a little more back. Okay, have a look from front on, because you can see how wide my feet are here. Okay, like this with my knees in. Knees keep it tight, feet keep me balanced. I'm gonna be here, two shins, step wide, pinch the knees together like so. That is our headquarters entry. From there, we can now start to isolate this leg. This one's trapped. I can now start to look to pull him down, take his knee away from his chest, and the usual reaction from here is to want to either push or sit up. Okay, this is going to give me the chance to get the body lock, or we can do that little rocking thing. If he doesn't, just start trying to link our hands together. Okay. But usually they'll sit up here, and we get the body lock. Alright, so when we're in the headquarters position, I want to be pinching my knees tight, feet nice and wide. My aim is to get my shoulder past the line of this knee. Okay. Once I do that, I can pull the knee away from the chest and move backwards. I actually don't want to be in headquarters anymore. Okay, I want to put my knee down. Once I've cleared that, I want to put my right knee down to the mat, like on the inside of the legs. Okay, because then I can have like an underhook and here. It's kind of like it's like you're in butterfly now, but you've cleared the butterfly hook, so it's even better. Okay, this is going to make Lockie really want to sit up. Okay, and that's going to give me the body lock. If he stays down, that's fine too. That's going to let me clear the knee line. Okay, so how can we force that? Well, we're in headquarters. I can start trying to smash this leg across. Like, it relies on his leg being on the outside a little bit, okay? Or at least if it's centered, I can slip my shoulder here and then move backwards. Really important you go backwards and away. This way, backwards and to my left, sorry. You see I've sat him up really nicely for the body lock pass here, okay? If you try to if his knee's too far here, okay, it's gonna be really hard to get past that. You can of course push it, but that's difficult if he knows that's coming. But if he's so far there, start working your smash part. Okay, threaten that at least. Okay, so I would be here. I would threaten that I'm gonna smash pass. He brings the knee out, collect it with my armpit, and move backwards. Hands can go to the mat, that's fine. Back and low here. Head in the middle, and we're ready to connect our hands. Okay, so you can see I've dropped to my knee. Let's turn around and have a look from another angle. This way. So I'm here, I get into the headquarters position, I clear the line of the knee, hands go to the mat, and I move back. Okay, nice and low. This is a perfect underhook. Ready to pass. Sometimes you'll be in headquarters and you know the entry we wanted to work was if my leg was free. If he's not holding that, I can get my arm in front of the leg, my armpit, and I can start to move back and force him to sit up. But if Lockie's holding onto my leg, I can still try to get the body lock, but from here. Okay, so obviously it's not a De La Riva. I've blocked him getting that hook in. If I can from here, I can start to pummel an underhook. Lockie might be framing here. I'm gonna have to work like past that frame, drop my shoulder, and then start to pull him up to catch the body lock grip from here. All right. Once you got the body lock there, let's turn. We can start doing some nice stuff to free this leg. To be honest, this is not something I'm as good at. Someone like Craig Jones, Gordon Ryan does this really well too. But from here, we can start to step up nice and high, pummel our foot in, and clear their leg with a shin flick. Okay. All I'll say for that, for the shin flick, if we go back, if you're down at the end of if the foot's like hooked at your thigh here, you're not going to flick your shin in front. Okay. So when I want to do the shin flick, I'm going to step so that I'm step out and wide and point my knee up. See how I'm closer to his knee now and his foot's dangling? Now I have a chance to pummel that in. Okay, and usually when you get the shin flick, you can either push outwards. That's the knee going in. That's good. Okay, flare your knee out a bit. Yeah, you can sometimes push out and just clear the leg, like so, or you can use that hook. So see, at the moment the problem is this knee is blocking my forward momentum, and I want to get past that. Okay, so by flicking and hooking the shin, I can often push down and watch what happens to his knee. It clears. Okay. Now when I come down, I've cleared the knee line and I have a good body lock passing position. So this can be an excellent way to approach getting the body lock. So some people like to set up their body lock pass from this kind of headquarters position, but almost like floating over the top like this. You know, it can be hands on the mat and so on from here. And they'll start pummeling legs here and working from there. Personally, I find this doesn't work as well for shorter people as it does for longer people. If Lockie lifts his right leg up, it really off balances me because I'm not so tall, so it's not so easy for me to fight against that. If I had really long legs, so if Lockie lifts and my legs were like, let's lift a bit less then. Yeah, if we're like there, and I can kind of just straighten my legs and he doesn't actually move my balance here, then I'm fine, okay? But being shorter than Lockie, if he lifts his leg more now, like that actually starts to play with my balance, okay? But you definitely can like use these shin flicks, and essentially if you want to get the body lock from here, you're trying to make the person, you know, you're going to be pummeling, trying to work like underhooks, trying to go for knee cut, trying to shin flick and free this knee down below. What you're wanting the person to do is to want to sit up. Okay, you want to make them think it's a good idea to sit forward, and that will give you a chance to lock on to the body lock. Okay, so if you are doing a float pass style thing, you need to really threaten a bunch of passes and make them want to sit up and grab on to your leg. Okay, I've seen Craig got one with the leg trapped. And again, if you've got long arms and so on, you can potentially body lock even with their leg in like this. Lockie's just relaxed, so it's okay for me to do that. But in reality, it's going to be quite difficult for someone my size to get that same grip to work. So I tend to prefer to work more from a position like this to get my body lock. Our other option is to go for a Toreando. For a near side knee cut. Usually they're too defensive to get anything useful immediately. So I go here and I try and knee cut. He's gonna block and he's gonna get like good De La Riva position. So almost always when I want a knee cut, I'm gonna threaten the Toreando pass. I'll come to the side, he starts to open this leg out to try to block, and now I can come in for the knee cut. Now it's really important, see how my hip's just beating the line of that foot? That's so important because if his foot's in front, he's gonna kick me away. And I'm back to, like if I let him get proper reverse De La Riva, this is no good for me. I want knee cut position. Okay? My hip beating the knee, beating the line of the foot. Now he probably goes for like a Z-guard, and we can start to set up our body lock from there, which we'll go over in more detail. So grabbing the shins, walking to the side, as he starts to extend, or like if he doesn't, if he keeps it tight, you keep threatening the pass. He's gonna start to bring that leg in, bring your knee and your hip on the outside of the foot. That's why the shin's so important. If you're holding the knee, this foot will come in front of you almost every time. If I'm on the shin, I can keep that foot away. My hip comes in, and then I can jam over the top, and I start to set up the body lock from here. Okay. He's being a dead fish, but that's what's gonna happen. Now, when we get to this Z-guard position, we want to have some ways of getting to the body lock from here. Okay. Now, how they're going to put their Z-guard is, if they're really deep with this knee, it's going to be hard to force the body lock exactly how we want it by sitting them up. We can still possibly get a body lock, but like more into a smash pass, which we'll go over. But generally, if this knee is through, like really deep, he's not crossing his feet. So let's turn around. Lock his feet are uncrossed, okay? Because his knee shield is deep. If he wants to cross his feet, see how that knee shield has to be shallow? If he wants to have a deep knee shield, his feet will uncross. Okay? So when his feet are uncrossed, I can make him go shallow. Watch this. So we're here. I am going to start to drive my knee down, open his calf out, and start to pummel my foot to the outside. Okay. So watch this. Again, his foot's curled. Sorry, I'm in the knee cut. His top leg's deep. I drive to the calf, and I do like a side slide of my knee, and I start to pummel my windshield wiper my foot out. Okay. As soon as we get to here, usually Lockie's gonna realize I'm about to get outside the legs, and he's gonna try to trap my legs. Watch what happens to his knee shield. Okay. If he does to half guard, that's perfect, or at least a shallow knee shield. Okay. So if he drops his leg out, that's great. We can get to here, we're into the half guard, looking for a body lock. So if you threaten, when you threaten this, sliding down to the calf and pummeling over the top with your foot, it makes them want to take this top leg back out into either a shallow knee shield, which is fine, where he can lock his feet possibly, or take that leg out altogether. Okay. So then they can now let us work from the shallow knee shield. Okay. From the shallow knee shield, where the feet are crossed here, I'm going to grip on the bottom of the leg I'm gonna put my head down just in front of the armpit here. As a tripod, okay? Not too low. Here, I have to watch the guillotine. So I want to block his arm from gripping my wrist, from doing all sorts of things. This head positioning is really important here, okay? Not too far to the side, because you can bring his arms in front. Yeah, and attack like Kimura and so on. I want my head still on this side of his body, okay? From here, look at my chest. I start to tripod, I get my chest on top of this thigh, and I start to lift my hips up. From here, you can see my chest has blocked the top of his leg, and I pull his bottom leg up as well. If I walk my hips backwards and circle, it's gonna start to straighten him out. Okay, it makes him want to sit up. Okay. It would feel very silly to not sit up here. He's basically lying with his legs straight. Okay, so he's almost always gonna sit up here, and we take our body lock, and usually the knee line too. Okay. So it's here. The pressure, it's hard to see when I'm covering the chest, but I want pressure here and pulling up. So I got like my chest. My hand is my chest. I pull to here, and I start to circle this way. Okay. Most people make a couple of, like when I've taught this, there's a few mistakes people make. Okay. One, they just go backwards. This doesn't square him up. There's no way he's gonna sit up. He's gonna start to attack like omoplata, triangle, these sort of things. I have to square his hips up. So I have to not just go backwards, but to the side too. Okay. The other mistake people make is they just go sideways and not enough backwards. And now I've just ended in like a butterfly, but it doesn't have to be a body lock. Okay. So do what you would do to defend it. Yeah, it might even be like a headquarters or a De La Riva. Okay. You have to get your chest covering the thigh, pulling the bottom leg up, and circle backwards, and use your head to stop their body from, like their arm from controlling your arms. Yeah. From here, what are you gonna do? Sit. Okay, and that's gonna give me my body lock grip. Alright, so when they're doing like a high knee shield, it's pretty hard to body lock through a leg. So I can't just lock my hands here. So for me, this is a much harder, if they're keeping this knee high, it's much harder to get the body lock from that position. But if you want to force it, there are some things you can try to do, or at least to encourage them to start trying to sit up and lose that knee shield. Sometimes you have to give them an opportunity to try to attack, just so you can try to counter attack. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to give them an opportunity to go for the underhook sweep, but we're waiting to try to catch the body lock. Okay, so if you look at the underhook sweep, like eventually at some point of the underhook sweep, Lockie has to take the knee shield away. Okay, you can keep the knee shield there and get an underhook, but like just keep it there. Yeah, and get an underhook. But it doesn't get him very far until he removes that knee shield. Once he removes the knee shield now, he can actually start to attack the actual sweep. Okay, so it will make that knee shield go away, but you need to be ready to counter that. So I want to be like side up. I'm going to step my left leg forward. I'm going to punch my left hand, waiting for an underhook myself. Right, nice and close to the, like to his ribs here, near the armpit. Okay. If you're near the armpit, it's hard for them to get a Kimura. It's kind of a weird angle to get the grip, see? Okay? If you go down here, they definitely might get the corner. Okay, so keep it like near the armpit at first, even though we want to eventually get a low body lock. Okay? I step around the corner, and I would probably actually do this after I like put my knee up. So I'm always giving him a better angle, to go for the underhook. If I just like lift this big opening here, but as he starts to sit up for that underhook and remove that knee shield, I drop my weight back and around and like side on here to connect my hands. I didn't in this scenario, but I normally would actually drop my knee back down too, so I can turn more side on. So over here. Okay. Now, really good body lock position. Lockie has the underhook, but look at like my angle here. I've dropped my elbow, connect to my hands, try and bring me forward with that underhook. There's definitely an upgrade in positioning for me. Okay, so maybe have a look at it from this side. I have my knee shield here. As Lockie sits up, I drop my knee out, back down towards the ground so I can turn that corner and get low on his body to get the body lock position. Okay, once more from over here. My hands here, I'm stepped forward. As he goes for the underhook, my knee will drop out down towards the ground. And I cut that angle right across. Look at my head, down near the hips. Connect your hands here. Okay, really low body lock, excellent positioning. Okay, now when we drive forward, we've got a good ability to finish the body lock pass. If someone does a deep knee shield, then I'm not going to be able to, it's unlikely I'm going to be able to tilt them all the way square and like make them want to sit up this way. Okay, so if they've got their knee, let's say their legs like right across like this. Okay, so if we're here, if Lockie sits up at all from here, I will definitely take the body lock. Go back. If he just sits up, I'll take the body lock. We'll go over this a little later, but now I can start to work to free my right leg, or I can start to bring my knee over the top into like I call this like a body lock smash pass style position. Okay. If he sits up, that's great, but I can't force him to sit up sometimes. So if he wants to stay on his back, then I'll basically be working to try to clear the knee line first, and then I can potentially either pass or work for the body lock later. Okay, so from here, I'll be holding onto this knee, which keeps the knee in place. Head will be gripping around the hip with my right arm, head in front of the chest here. My right leg will open his calf out. So I slide my knee into the calf, and then I will pummel my foot over the top. Okay? If you don't open the calf, back heel, there's no way I'm going to pummel my foot from here. I have to bring my knee into the calf, and then I pummel over the top. Okay. Once I'm there, I feel comfortable to bring my left knee over the top, take my head to the other side, and I can start working towards passing. Here, Lockie might decide to go to the half guard, or I might sit up, go half guard, bring the right leg out. So yeah, so yes. Teaching him how to go to half guard. Okay, so again, open the knee out and pummel out. Okay, if they sit up at all, awesome. Take your body lock. Okay, but otherwise, start working to pass, threaten that pass, start to beat the knee line, start taking your head to the other side. From here, I mean, what do you feel like doing here? He sits up, now I've got my body lock. Okay, that's what I wanted originally. Usually it's going to force them to play something like that, otherwise we just keep trying to pass. We can enter into the body lock from reverse De La Riva in a different way. Sometimes, obviously, we always need to clear the foot from the hip. Sometimes Tim's just so good at blocking this space here that I can't get in anywhere here to pass. But I can reach over the head and start to curl in here. Okay, so I'm going to pull his head in, It makes it hard to invert because the head's kind of like jammed, especially like when I drop my knee down, like my knee pressure's down, and I curl Tim in, like so, okay? Now from here, my right hand can start to work around the body, okay? It could be an underhook, or Tim can get his own underhook. It's not that important actually from here, as long as I'm like cross body and getting onto the hips. And now from here, because I've curled Tim in, I'm starting to get like a bit of space. I can even use that to lift a bit to get my right arm like underneath, ready for the body lock. And I can come through with my other arm and start to link my hands here. All right. At the same time as we do this, so as I curl over, another good thing you can do is drop your knee down to the mat. Okay, it makes it even harder to invert underneath as I start to work back in for a body lock grip and start to work into the pass. One way, sometimes you can actually just, even if someone's playing, like trying to play an open guard, their feet are like this, sometimes you can force them to the butterfly guard, which will then obviously give you a chance to try to set up the body lock. So sometimes you'll have someone like this. If you want to see an example of this, Marcelo Garcia against Keenan Cornelius, they were just rolling, it wasn't a match, but Marcelo comes in against Keenan, and the first thing he does is jams his feet down and drops his hips over the top, okay? As soon as if you can be quick at this, you get your hips over the top. Now it's basically a butterfly, and it's very hard to remove your hooks from the butterfly position. So I can just start to drop back, and I'm now in position where if he sits up, I get the body lock. Okay. So again, you can go here. Lockie might even be circling and pummeling. If I can just get to control with two hands on the ankles for a moment, I drop my hips over the top, and then low and back to get into the butterfly guard. One grip we can use, which is great for setting up the body lock pass, is this like V-shaped thumb in the armpit grip like this, okay? So if Tim sits up for the underhook and I can block here, what this does is it stops Tim's shoulders from moving too low relative to mine, okay? So if you look at his action for the half guard sweep, he wants to get around the corner. Obviously I can't body lock now, okay? If I get this grip, even if he's got the underhook, what I can do now is drop my shoulder, my left shoulder, lower than Tim's. Okay. You see I'm above the line here. Because of this grip, I can bring my shoulder down, and now I can connect my hands. Okay. Again, still blocking. When you connect this, I still want to try to block the bottom leg from recovering. So I'm going to go here, connect my hands like that. If Tim brings his bottom leg in, it's trapped, and I can bring my leg in over the top to clear the knee line. When we want to set up the body lock, a few things are really important, okay? First, I want to try to make Lockie want to sit up. So if I can start to square his hips up and start to pull his knees away from his chest, that's when he's going to want to sit up, okay? Without either of those, if his knees are his chest, he's usually happy to stay on his back. And if he's on his side and I pull his legs away, he might not sit up either, okay? But if I can square him up and pull the knees away, that's when I can force him to sit up. So we're always looking to do that. The other thing we're really looking for our entry is making sure our shoulders are lower than our opponents, okay? So let's say it's butterfly guard. He could be seated up and have room for a body lock, but my shoulders aren't in position. This is no good, okay? So I always need to be trying to square him up and get my shoulders lower than his, okay? So whether we're here or here, whatever, often if you just think about it, take the knees away from the chest and square them up, we get the body lock. Okay. Lockie is seated, so we've got a seated opponent. One of the first things we try to do, clear the hands and start to dive in to catch the body lock. Blocking the inside leg with my elbow, blocking the other leg with my forearm, taking my arm nice and deep, head's in good position, and we can link up the body lock from there. If Lockie is winning the hand fight a bit, then I'll often reach down onto the calf. So if he tries to pull me forward, he can't, and I can drop my hips down nice and low, and that will now help me get towards the body lock. Okay. If we're in butterfly, what I'll often do from here is try to get my shoulder behind one of the legs if I can. So let's say Lockie's winning the battle, he's starting to bring me forward. Try to drop my shoulder back behind the leg. Okay, try and pull me forward now. That lets me slip my other shoulder deep, and then I've got a good angle to work towards the body lock. Okay, so we're always working to get our shoulder lower than their shoulders. If you are in bad position, if he's brought you forward, then just post on the mat and take yourself back so that your shoulder will get lower. Okay, so don't settle for being like in a high body lock here. I need to post, drop my hips back, and lock it out lower. If Lockie is gripping my wrist and blocking me from getting the body lock, then we need to step, clear that grip, and we're constantly trying to battle to the inside space. Okay, so he's trying to keep my arm away. I need to use my hand, my leg to break that grip. I'll often put my hand behind my back just so that the angle that comes through is on the inside to come back. Okay, then we can lock our body lock from there once we win that battle. Okay. So if our opponent's lying down, one thing we can do is try to force the butterfly guard. Okay, so yeah, his feet are up. I might be able to jam the ankles, get my hips over, and now I'm in the butterfly, and we get to do the stuff we were working on before. If not, if that's difficult, we've got the options to threaten the Toreando first, and then come in for the knee cut, or we've got the option to come from the outside and force a near side knee through into headquarters. Okay, both of these positions we can then work to get the body lock from. Okay, so if we go for the knee cut, like so, first thing, make sure their foot's not in front of your hip. If you can clear that, then we can basically jam over the top and put our head down in front of the shoulder. All right. Now there's either going to do a shallow or a deep knee shield. If it's somewhat shallow, I'm going to grip the bottom leg, start to lift it up, get my chest in front of the top leg, start to walk to square him up, and then that'll force him to sit up. So I'm basically able to take his knee away from his chest and square him up. That's going to make him want to sit up. Okay. If not, we'll get the half guard anyway. If his knee shield is deep, then we're going to work, like he either sits up and we get our body lock, and then we can start working for like a smash pass style body lock. Or if his knee shield's that deep, it might be hard to force him to sit up, but you can block the knee and start working to pass from there anyway. Usually at some point, they'll react to that and sit up and give you a chance to pass. Our other option was to go across into a headquarters style position. Okay. If my leg is free and he hasn't gripped onto that leg, I will try to bring my armpit past the line of that knee and then start to square back up and low to make him sit up and connect my body lock. If he does grip onto that leg, then from here, I'm going to start looking for the underhook and making sure, I get past any frame by coming this side and working to get my body lock from here. From there, you do have a chance to start pummeling and working to upgrade your position from that. Another option to get the body lock is actually to give them half guard and just try to block their ability to get like a deep underhook. So as long as my shoulder can go lower than Lockie's shoulders, I'm okay. So this thumb in the armpit grip here can be great. I give room for Lockie to go for his own underhook, but I use that to block and drop my own shoulder lower than his. Okay. Once we're here, he's set up, and that gives me a chance to lock up my body lock. So we go here, Lockie starts to sit up, I can block his armpit, try to sit up. It lets me drop my shoulder lower and start to connect the body lock from here. Okay. With this one, make sure you really drop low down towards the thigh almost. Okay? So I'm not just focusing on like locking around the body as he goes to get up. I want to like bring my body lower, okay? Chest across the thigh. It stops the knee shield and everything as well, and it gives me great positioning.